Hi, everybody. Welcome to Capital to the Coast BNI. My name is Mike Manning. Each week on this show, we bring you a local small business success story that is either part of Triangle BNI, which covers the Triangle area, or Coastal BNI, which covers the Wilmington area. And if you're not familiar with BNI, it is Business Networking International, the world's largest networking organization. We have between the two chapters about 41 chapters that meet every week, and our goal is to help each other grow our business. And our local small business success story this week is John Moore with Southeastern Benefits. John is part of CCO3, the Tropical Storm BNI chapter in Wilmington. They meet Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. at the Eagles Dare. So if you are in Wilmington at any point in time and want to meet some legitimate networking, hardworking business owners and sales professionals, please go visit John's chapter. Good morning, John. How are you?
Good morning. Doing just fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. All right, so let's get the most important stuff out of the way. So, folks, if you are a Philadelphia Eagles fan, please join our guest in continuing to celebrate the Eagles Super Bowl win last night.
Go birds.
And John, I talked to John the other day about being on the show, and neither he or I figured out, oh, that's going to be the morning after the Super Bowl. So I usually swim in the morning, so I'm swimming my laugh, just kinda going through the day and everything. It's like, "Oh my god, John just watched the game last night."
Uh-huh.
So how far back do you go as an Eagles fan?
Late 90s, mid to late 90s, yeah, when I moved up there for a
Okay.
period of time. Yep.
And it was mandatory that you either choose the Eagles or leave, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I had a pretty good job up there and I liked it. And my brother was up there at the time, so we became Eagles fans. So
Okay.
there we go.
Does that
Yeah.
make you a Phillies, Flyers, and Sixers fan?
Yeah, I mean, I have a rooting interest with the Flyers too, but I'll be honest, don't tell Diana
Yeah,
this, but
I won't.
I prefer the Hurricanes.
I've had some friends that lived up north and moved down here, Rangers fans, and now their kids are growing up as
Mhm.
Hurricanes fans, so they're now Hurricanes hockey fans. So yeah.
Yep.
So in Tropical Storm BNI, John holds the group benefits seat. He's also the events coordinator. He's previously been the president. When John was the president, I believe you started this, and if you didn't, please allow me credit to give you the credit, okay? Each week in a BNI meeting, there's a 10-minute presenter. They have the room all to themselves, rotates every week. They have the room all to themselves. And John came up with walk-up music. Again, something that separates his chapter from many of the other chapters. So how did that get started? Because I think that's just cool. We know walk-up music if you're a baseball fan. Batters
Mhm.
walking up to the batter's box, they get walk-up music. So that's where
Yep.
that comes from. So how'd you start that?
It was very spur of the moment. It was a lady that I had a crush on that was, in our group years and years ago. So I just picked a song out and played it for her as she was walking up to do her
And
presentation.
did she
So
like
there you
it?
go. She did.
Okay.
So
Alright.
and then, it's been a thing ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's probably married to someone else now, right?
Yep, yep,
Yep.
and
Okay.
that's, good move on her, for sure. She made good decisions.
So John has been in the group benefits world, since 2000, if my math is correct?
Pretty close there, yeah, maybe '05. Yeah,
Okay.
early aughts for sure.
Yep. And the purpose of his business is to help employees find and retain better employers find and keep better employees and help employees kind of cover themselves. Um, so let's start with first of all, I got to know how you came up with Southeastern Benefits. I know you grew up in Charlotte, so you have ties to the Southeast. So how'd you come up with the
Mhm.
company name?
I had to make a website and, create a name for myself, and, I'm not the most creative person when it comes to that sort of thing, so I'm like, "Well, it applies, it sounds good." It's makes for a really, really long email address.
Yes. And
So,
yeah.
hindsight 2020, I might have chosen something different, but, here we are.
And I can assume somebody else had that name since your email is .net?
Yeah, let's see, who was that? I remember what it was, but it's not what you would think it was,
Okay.
oddly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Don't
s
Google it, kids.
yeah, really. All right, so we're gonna get to us in a minute to how you grow a book of business in group benefits, which we just have to assume is just brutally hard because you have that's one of those things people just don't really want to talk about are health insurance, life insurance, benefits, all that good stuff. So the first thing is you help employers and folks, if you are employing people, let's walk through this with John for a second because one of the biggest wasted times I think is hiring the wrong person or losing somebody because you don't want to do something for them to keep them there. So, what are the reasons why employers come to you for employee benefits?
That's one of them right there, Mike. I mean, losing an employee is extraordinarily costly for any employer. Um, even like entry level positions. You bring me on, let's say you're paying me $45,000 a year, and I'm there for 90 days, 6 months, whatever it is, and then I'm gone. That's a huge expense. Huge expense.
Yeah, and it's
So,
just it the time, the money that goes into okay, so now we're replacing Susie who left. And so now we got to make sure the job description's right. We have
mhm.
to post it. We have to interview. We have to get together to meet the interview, the final three maybe, and then we have to decide. And then Susie's got to wait 2 weeks before, or Jenny's going to wait or Jimmy's going to wait 2 weeks before they start with us because they got to give 2 weeks at their place. And then we got to onboard them and train them. And that could be anywhere from what, 2 to 4 months, depending on the size of the job you're interviewing for.
Easily, yeah. And each time you lose somebody, you're starting the clock all over again.
Oh
So yeah,
man, that's
no
yeah.
bueno.
Yeah. What are some of the things that employers have found, that their new or existing employees appreciate having that helps keep them there?
Well, you mentioned one of them, just in terms of just attracting the talent. If let's say I have a business that sells widgets, and I'm going to pay you top level hourly wage or annual salary, but then there's another one down the road that does the same thing, but they also offer health insurance.
Mm.
Where am I going to go? I'm going to go to the place where I can get health insurance at a reasonable cost, get it through a payroll deduction, and the employers pay part of the cost for the employees. So it's a no brainer. And once I'm there, if somebody tries to recruit me to go to a competitor, I'm not leaving unless you have something very similar, same, or better.
Yeah, and it's those little things as the employee, they come to you because it's those little things that make it worth staying. I like the place, I like the people, I like the business, but I need this, for my family. And so I'm sure once they chat with you on what's available, whether it's vision or health insurance or whatever it is, they're probably finding something that works for them.
For sure. Yeah. And, some of I mean, not even some, but a lot of my customers around here, especially, they're not huge businesses.
Mm.
But if they have, 10, 15 employees, it might be time to look at group health insurance. But for smaller ones, they can still do dental and vision or disability or something like that, and offer that to the employees or even pay for it. A lot of them do, just to make themselves more attractive as a small business owner.
Yeah, and it's always a question for those of us who have hired people before and managed people is what are they worth to my life? Not my business, but my life. Because if they leave, now if someone else doesn't pick up the slack, I have to, whether it's answering the phone at night, doing more of something I don't want to do. And I'm guessing sometimes it could be just like if I pony up another $1,000 in a year, which is 85-ish dollars a month, and that keeps them, man, is that money well spent?
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, most of the stuff that I do, it's going to be a, a benefit tax wise for the employer if they want to offer a benefit like health or dental or vision. Yeah, for sure. So win win.
All right, so starting a book, did you start the Southeastern Benefits book of business from scratch?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you the long story if you want, but I started in the insurance industry because a friend of mine talked me into getting my insurance license. I'm still mad at him for that, but here we are 15 years later, and I did kind of spin my wheels for a long time, but I ended up developing a network, and some of that has, or a lot of that has to do with BNI, but I also was able to meet a lot of brokers out there that do different kinds of insurance that don't do what I do, and I don't want to do what they do. So those are good fits, and so that's kind of when I got really rolling. So if you do, let's say you do home and auto insurance, or you do general liability for a business or workers' compensation, but you don't do group health insurance, then I'm a great fit. And I'm more than happy, in fact, eager to send all of that business right back to you because I don't want to do any of that.
All right, so making the decision to go out on your own, from the time you really started thinking about it until you actually made the change, kind of time frame we looking at?
It was a couple of years, maybe, when I was getting my, getting my feet wet with it and just learning the industry. And but it took some time, and it's definitely not an easy industry to break into. And I did not start working for another company really. I had some loose partnerships with some other insurance folks, but that was about it. It was like, go out there and do what you can do, and if you don't, you're not going to eat this week. you know.
Yeah, 100% commission is not for the faint of heart. But is there 1 or 2 things that had to happen or be in place for you to make that decision to go out on your own full time?
Well, I came from the corporate world, and the biggest thing was my company got bought by a bigger corporation, and then laid everyone that worked at my company off. So there you go. That'll motivate anybody.
Yeah, so sometimes it's true. We forget people make the decision for us, right?
Yep, yep. But I mean, I wouldn't. I'm very happy with what
Yep.
I'm doing now. So yeah,
Uh,
happy to be out of the corporate world,
there you go. Yeah, a lot
as
of
it
us.
turns out.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of us are. So once your doors were opened, the first couple of weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, what were the things you were doing to get word out to start to grow the business and get clients?
I mean, honestly, man, just connecting with some fellow networkers, and again, not to beat the dead horse, but BNI was a big part of that. My chapter started. I joined. CPA actually invited me, which I know is rare for a
Mhm.
BNI group. He's long gone, but he's my CPA, and he was like, "You should come check this out." And so I did, and that was in 2010, I bet,
Mhm.
maybe 11. Yeah. So it's been a huge part of growing the business over the years, and then again, developing
Mhm.
those relationships with other folks that are in similar but different insurance, in the insurance world.
And we hear this from other folks in the insurance world as well as financial advisors. Just
Yep.
phone calls every day. How many were you making, and what kind of plan were you on for that?
Ooh, buddy, quite a few. Yeah, and I don't love being on the phone. I like being out and about,
Mm,
but I did spend a lot of time on the phone, hours a day.
mm.
Making outbound phone calls, and trying to get the yes. And if you can't get the yes, get the no.
Yep. Yeah, just get let me mark you on my list one way or the other instead of
Uh
we'll
huh.
see, right?
Yep.
And
I will happily call you back next year. Just don't tell me maybe and have me call you back.
yep.
Call me back next week.
Yeah.
And the next week and the next week.
Yeah,
So
for those who've never really done cold calling, a no work in a weird way, a no works.
yeah, for sure, it's the next best thing to a yes.
But you have one of those businesses though that your when you say, "Hey, I'm John with Southeastern Benefits," and you're trying to meet the owner, the HR person, whoever. Man, I bet you got stonewalled a lot from the first person to answer the phone with either like, "Well, I give 'em your name and number," or "We don't need that," or whatever.
Oh, for sure. I did initially target the healthcare industry because that's where I came from in the corporate world. So I was very comfortable talking to
Mm,
practice managers and doctors and all that stuff. Didn't I was not intimidated by any of that, but um, I didn't necessarily have a ton of those type of relationships here where I live. But I was okay making those calls, and I did kind of get a niche for healthcare, and I still have it to, to a large degree today. Because of all that. Um, but I mean, honestly, I can do any occupation class. It doesn't really matter. It's just more about how many people work there and if the employer cares about the employees. That's about it for me.
When you talk to the employer, does it take you long to figure out if they care or not?
No. Nope, does not. Yeah, and I mean, I'll tell them. That's the other thing. I mean, I'm always honest about it. So somebody might even come to me and be interested in group health insurance, and like we can look at it, but it may or may not be right for you today. You know, next year maybe, maybe another year after that. But I don't mind telling people that it's not. This isn't the right fit for you. You should talk to my referral
Mm.
partner who does individual health insurance. Do that for now, and then hit me back. Next year.
Is it a revenue thing for smaller businesses or just a want to by the owner to do it?
It's a numbers thing, like if we have 6 employees, let's say, and only 2 of them want to get insurance, that's just not gonna work.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, like, there's not gonna be a carrier that wants to do it typically, on a group chassis anyway. Yeah,
So when
but,
you talk to a business owners and they are interested, is that one of the next steps for them to do is poll their staff and see if they're interested?
I mean, not necessarily, I don't do it that way, but I have the employer send me a census of how many people are there full time, and then I'll get some numbers, I'll talk to them, "Here's what we have. How's it look to you?" And then rather than have you tell your employees what you want to offer them, I'll go on site and speak to the
Mm,
employees in a group setting, like they're having like a team meeting, and
yeah.
make it pretty brief. Here's what it does. Here's how much it'll cost you because your employer is paying this much. That kind of thing.
Okay, those pretty well received once you get to that point?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, versus, I mean, if you're working somewhere that can accommodate this kind of benefit, you might save yourself 30, you might save yourself 70%
Yeah.
in terms of what you would be paying otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah, and just keeping an employee that's already happy, and that's and again, folks, if you are managing or owning a business and you got staff, think of what happens to your life, not your business, but your life if they leave. What does that mean for you? And is 1,000 or even 2,000 a year worth keeping them?
Exactly. Exactly. Because it's way less than having to hire someone else and
Yep.
go through that whole process over again, for sure.
Which is no fun,
Nope.
especially if you've done it 3 times in 22 months.
Yeah. Hassles aside,
Yeah.
the mo- the money it's going to be very expensive, but it's also going to be another huge headache
Yeah.
and more burden on you as the employer. You know.
Do you remember Southeastern Benefits' first client?
Oh, I think it was actually another insurance agency.
Okay. And how did that
Yeah,
introduction or connection come about?
I think I had just been going around to other places like that and looking for referrals essentially, and uh, wrote some business for their employees because they did not do that. They didn't offer any kind of group benefits like what I do, and I ended up referring them a lot of home and auto stuff, and so they would refer me to any commercial account that asked. So that's the way it kind of got started.
Okay.
They don't offer a group Blue Cross plan, but they know somebody who does, and they'll have me call them, and that's that.
All right. And one of the lessons, takeaways from today's show, folks, is who do you really have relationships with in your business life? Do you know them, but you can't really quote who they are, or maybe a spouse or something about their business? Or do you have that relationship with them that goes years and years and years? And John, I'm sure you've had a number of people that have been with you for a while.
For sure. Yep. Many, many years, decades almost now. So
And that's what we want. It's okay. I do a good bit of BNI training, and one of the things I tell people is that it's okay to say, "I want to do the least amount of work for the most amount of money."
absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
No, because that's our goal is to make as much money as we can, and by
Hmm.
building relationships, if you can get to, "I am a referral only, people call me now," that's where we wanna get to. So
Hmm.
so how do we make that happen? Uh Give me a different industry that came out of the blue that called you, because like you said, you can help a number of people. Any kind of cool different industries that you ended up, bringing on as a client?
Um, One that I'm proud of, I won't mention the name, but it's a restaurant. It's not necessarily a chain, but they have a lot of
Mm,
locations, and they're pretty well respected, and Food's really good. So
Yeah.
are the cocktails. So I was always happy when they reached out to me, and they got my name and number through a referral.
Nice.
And
Yep.
so that's pretty awesome. And we've had a relationship for about 5 years now. And yes, of course, I am also their customer, but we didn't meet prior to talking about this kind of stuff with the insurance.
Boy, and you wanna talk about a turnover heavy industry. Oh my gosh.
Seriously, and that's exactly what the chef and owner wanted to do. Help me hold on to these people
Mhm.
that are of value to me. And so we did, and he's got people that have been there the whole time that I've had a relationship with him. And I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I'm sure it has something to do with that.
Mhm.
Nothing on me necessarily. Someone else could have done it as well, but I try to do the best job I can. But him making the decision to use someone like me has definitely helped him retain and attract the kind of talent that he wants. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what, John, you brought up a good point because a lot of times we feel like, well, they're already a client, and then you don't talk to them for like a year and a half.
Hmm.
And so you renew your clients once a year. Is that how that system works?
Annually, yes,
Okay.
but I mean, I try to keep a very close relationship with whoever's in
Yep.
the administration, human resources, whatever, you know. So when we have new hires, they know what to do
Mm.
and what the time frame is. And I will speak directly to new hires, even if they have 500 people, I will still make the phone call and do a Zoom or whatever. Here's what you got, and here's how much it'll cost you, and help them get enrolled when they're hired.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I'll make on-site visits, annually, if not more frequently.
Yep, and I know you're in the car a lot because I knew that before today, but you also mentioned that you're just a people person, right? And I get that. My guess is you do a few pop-ins and pop-bys every now and then. Hey, I was driving by, I was in the neighborhood, just thought I'd come in, see how your day's going to a client.
Yep. Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
absolutely, and that's what's going on today. So
yeah.
I very foolishly accepted another appointment the day after the Super Bowl, in addition to talking to you today, Mike. So,
Well, I can't pay you, so I hope the other people pay you to make both of these worthwhile because I know you're ready to
right?
go home.
Nope. I Even worse. I have another one coming up at 1. So
Oh, good for you, good for
it's
you.
fine. It's fine.
Alright,
And
so
then back to the office.
When the Eagles are in the Super Bowl next year defending their title, block out Monday and Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay, just
Yep.
go to your calendar tonight and
Uh
just look at
huh.
the dates next year, just block this out.
Uh huh.
But the pop buys though, or the pop ins, and folks, there's one of our goals is to stay top of mind. And there's many ways to do that. It does not have to be a sales call. It's folks like John pop into my, I'm a client and they pop in. Hey, Mike, I was driving by. Thought I'd just come in and see how you're doing. Not
Yeah.
selling a thing. You're
Nope.
just you're making sure I'm good if I have a question, but B, you're just waving at me like, hey, I'm still here. I still care about your business.
Yeah. If you don't take care of them, someone else will.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
I changed my home and auto insurance last year over to Heather Gamester, who's
Hmm.
been on the show before, because my guy hadn't called me in 3 years. And
Ah.
I'd had enough. This was, and so, anyways, I'll just leave it at that. And I'd had enough. And man, when I fired off the email canceling my coverage, guess who got
Bet
a
you got a
phone
phone
call?
call then. That's
They're
right.
like, Mike, you've been with us for years. What's wrong? I said, I haven't heard from you people in 3 years, so I'm out.
Yep.
And so I hear from Heather quite a bit.
Mm,
So
I bet so.
but but that goes back to the relationship part of yes, you do provide benefits. Yes, you do good work for people. Yes, there's all the yeses to all of those, but you care. You're showing that you care about those clients.
Yeah, for sure, and I 100% do. I mean, it's legitimate, it's sincere. I do care, and I think that will set anyone apart from everyone else that's out there. You know,
Yeah, you
care.
got it. Yep.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Just like yeah, just show them that you care a little bit, and they'll stay with you. So just think of you as as the consumer, which we always forget about. Who do I shop with?
yeah.
And where do I go? It's like, and okay, so now you've written 5 of those places down. So why are you staying with them? Oh,
Hmm.
John, let me tell you, they are awesome. I get like a birthday card from them. My kids, they get a birthday. My kids get cards from them, and you just chuckle when you hear that.
Hmm.
It's like marketing 101. You're just waving at them, folks. You're just waving, "Hey, I'm here, concerned about your business. Hope things are well." So,
That's right.
all right. So with BNI, how do your fellow members get you into a conversation? Because it is not an easy, a general. It's not an easy conversation to have, but it's not a real popular conversation with people about talking about group benefits. We just don't do that a lot.
No, it's not. I mean, and as great as BNI has been for me over all these years, I know that I'm difficult to refer. It's not like I'm the bug guy who does a good job where
Yeah.
you can just, your neighbors are like, well, who does your mosquito treatment? Oh,
Mm,
well, it's Brian. No,
mm.
it's not. That's not the way it works. But I have to develop really strong, trusting relationships with the commercial insurance guy that does like the general liability and the workers' compensation, the individual insurance person, the financial advisor that might do 401ks or simple saving plans, retirement plans, those kinds of things. And then the other ones just come, here and there from other business to business folks that are in my chapter. So, but there's three or four, and then also payroll people. That's a big one for me too. Um, Unfortunately, we don't have anyone that does payroll in my chapter now.
There you
So if you're
go.
out there listening, come on in, come for a visit.
Folks, you will be entertained. I promise you, you will make money and you will be entertained in that group. I've said that for a few years. I'll keep saying that. So,
It's
uh,
not a bad time.
no, it's not. It is not. Yeah, it's a good it's a couple hours well spent on a Thursday morning. How's the new
100%.
location at Eagles Dare?
It's good. It's a different vibe from where we were before, but I like it.
Mm.
And the host is great, and we're gonna do one of the cross chapter events there in one of the coming months here. Once I get together with the other events coordinators
Yep.
and see when we want to do it. But it's a great place to have a meeting, and the bar's not open at 8, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
aside from that,
Are by city laws, are they allowed to be open at 8 o'clock?
sure they are, yeah. So,
Okay. Yeah.
but you know, he's just opening the door for us. He's
Yeah.
not serving us drinks.
No.
And plus, I mean,
Yeah.
we can go off the rails without alcohol in my chapter anyway. So let's
And
not
you
kid
guys
ourselves.
you guys have a couple people on your roster that actually probably make pretty good bartenders, wouldn't they?
Oh, maybe one or two.
You are also a huge music fan. Do
I
you ever
am.
go in and sing to your future clients or current clients?
No, no, I want to keep those clients.
Do you find ways to use that in conversations if you know they are music fans?
Well, maybe, if I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt or something, maybe they'll notice my tattoos if they're old enough and recognize them. But aside from that, uh, I will always have an organic conversation
Yeah.
about music with anyone that wants to talk about it. But
Would
I'm
you
not going to sing to you because I want you to want to spend time with me.
Yeah. Would you, share the tattoo you have?
Well, there's one right here. So
Alright.
there you go. Do you know what that is, Mike?
I do now, yes. That was the
Uh-huh.
middle of the 40 hang on a sec, the 45 on your turntable, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are too young, we used to get our music on record players, and we had to buy
Hmm.
vinyl, which, by the way, going to Sam Goody's and all these music stores and flipping through the new albums was time well spent. So you could
Indeed.
get the album, which is 33 RPM, or the single, which is 45, and it had a hole in it about that size. And the tattoo on John's arm it was a plastic. I don't know what the name of it is. Do you?
It, the insert, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know what the tech spindle. I don't
Yeah,
know.
okay.
Yeah.
And you would
Yep.
stick that in the middle of the 45 and put that on your record player and play it because if you didn't, it would ruin your 45 because it would not stay on there. So,
Ooh.
yeah, yeah. So you listen to it.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Hmm.
So do many people ask you about that?
Yeah, and kids have come up and been like, "Is that a fidget spinner?"
Yeah. It's exactly what it looks like.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yep, sure is."
But Amnon just pulled it up. It's a 45 RPM adapter.
There we go.
And you know what, John? I remember one time when I was down there in Wilmington, you and I were having a cup of coffee somewhere, and you had short sleeve on, and some guy walked by who was a musician and saw that, and you two had a nice 5-minute conversation about it. So
Yep.
I can see.
Yep.
So
I'm wearing a long sleeve today, but I've also got a song right here down my enormous bicep.
there you go. What song is that?
"Lovely Day" by Bill Withers. It's the bass
Oh,
line. Yeah.
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 Okay. Well,
Mhm.
and your bicep is so big that you could handle Stairway to Heaven, so many words on a big
Indeed. I
bicep.
mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but you're right, Mike.
So let's go back to insurance people are your best referral partner?
Yeah, so, commercial insurance people, payroll, individual insurance people, uh, financial advisors, those are all great for me.
Do you get letters from employers or employees every now and then just saying, "Thank you"?
I
This
have gotten some thank yous from
okay.
my customers, which is very nice, and I mean, I try to do the same, but, yeah, whenever you hear something like that, no matter what you do out there in the world as your profession, it always feels good to feel appreciated because, again, I do care, and I wanna do the best job I possibly
Mm.
can for you as my customer, so,
S
when they recognize that, and I have done that, then it feels good.
so if I am an employee at that widget company you were mentioning earlier, could I call you and just say, "Hey, I need dental or vision," or anything like that? Or do I have to be part of a group plan?
I mean, yes and no, but I don't really do any of the individual stuff. I will refer that to my partner in BNI for that sort of thing. You can reach out to me, of course, but
Mm,
I'm more than likely going to pass you off to Paula
yep.
or someone like her that does that. But if you work at a business and I'm already your broker, then yes, of course, reach out to me anytime if you have questions about it as an employee. There are stipulations on when you can enroll, but we can have that conversation. Typically, with group plans, we can only do it once a year,
Mm,
unless you're a new employee or you've had um, circumstance that allows you to do a special enrollment. Like so, if I was on my spouse's plan, my spouse no longer works there. That qualifies me to get on the group plan. Those kinds of things. So we have those conversations periodically across the every month. And the other thing with group insurance like that, you don't have to do it at one time of year. Like so, if you have 20 employees now and you're like, okay, I think I want to do this, you don't have to wait until January. You can start it any month out of the
ah,
calendar year.
okay.
So,
That's
and
a
in fact,
plus.
and I encourage businesses all the time. Pick any month but January because they're already so slammed with all of the individual health insurance stuff that they have to do that time of year
Yep.
because of the open enrollment. Yeah.
Are more business owners using someone like you? Are they thinking better on retaining employees? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's more important now than ever, especially
No.
since 2020, where you know employees were coming at a premium because they were just, especially in like the service industry,
Yep.
people were just bouncing around from job to job, and when you have something like that, it really puts you head and shoulders above your competition. If we're talking, everybody has, we all do this same thing in town, but we have 15 to, let's say, 50 employees, but this one that has 25 employees just decided to do Blue Cross, dental, vision, disability, whatever else. That's the thing that's going to attract and keep the employees that they want to have there, helping their customers and
Yep.
doing whatever service they do.
And you have clients from outside the Wilmington area, I assume?
I do, yeah. I've got some as far away as Philadelphia. You might have heard of that town. Uh,
If it doesn't burn down today, knowing your fan base, right?
right. Well, I think the parade's going to be on Thursday. So,
Okay. Look out. Oh my
uh
gosh.
huh. Yeah, got some. Yeah, up and down the East Coast for the most part. Not too much in the Midwest. I've got one or two in Illinois. But I can go anywhere except for New York and California. Nothing to do with business. I just can't go there for personal decisions that I made 20 or 30 years ago. I'm banned. I'm just kidding. But
I didn't wanna
I'm
bring it
not.
up, so I'm glad you did because that was my first and only thought. So you are a proud graduate of UNC Charlotte?
49ers.
Did you
Hmm.
leave in good standing? They welcome you back?
I left on the chancellor's list.
Oh, look at us today.
Uh huh. I
Alright.
know. Came a long way since high school. Just barely coasted out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My mom passed a few years ago, and once she passed, nobody living today knows my college GPA other than me, and I'm glad about that
Mhm.
because I swore her to secrecy, and because we each had a secret on each other, and I said, "Mom, that's mine. Do not tell anybody, especially if I ever have kids. Do not tell them that." So,
That
what
degree looks just the same on the wall, doesn't matter.
well, it's funny, in all the jobs I've interviewed for over the years, it's been a few, I've never been asked my GPA,
Nor have
and
I.
I've been asked only I applied for a job with the state of North Carolina a few years ago on something,
Yeah.
and that's the only time anybody's ever said, "Show proof of graduation." So I was like,
Right.
"Alright," you know,
Yep. Uh-huh.
"Go."
I had to show proof of my degree as well once, but nothing about my GPA, which
No, no, they
in
don't
my
care.
case,
Yep, yep,
I was proud of it. I'm like, look what I did. I can't believe I did this. Because, if
yep.
you saw my high school GPA, I was a
Mm.
different story.
Oh, yeah. Because thankfully, many companies just post, college degree required, but there's no parentheses. It says, like, preferably higher than a 2.0.
Right.
What was the best thing about going to school at Charlotte, which is now the University of Charlotte, correct?
UNC Charlotte still, I
Okay.
think, right?
That's how I know it. Yeah.
Yep, yep. Well, for me, it was a convenience thing, to be
Yep.
completely honest, because when I graduated high school, barely, I did not go to college right after that. I took two jobs. I was in a band.
There we go.
Yeah, and then so I was like, well, maybe I should go back. And plus, my dad was like, you need to go to college because he
Yeah.
was the first one in our family to go to college. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should. So at some point, I finally decided to go to community college, and I got all that. What I don't know what do you call those classes?
Associates. Yeah,
Yeah,
getting the
yeah.
basics out of the way. Yep.
hmm
Yep.
And that saved me a bunch of money. And then I
Mhm.
started at the university. And once I got there, I still had two jobs,
Mhm.
still had a band, and boy was I tired.
Yeah, but you made the chancellor's list.
Yeah,
I
yep.
don't,
I'm still
I
still
think I had
surprised.
at Tennessee, we were on the quarter system, so we got 3 grading periods a year, which was wonderful. I did not know
hmm
that before I showed up there. Not that it would
Yeah,
have changed
right.
my decision, but I think a couple of those quarters, I would have made the chancellor's list, but my GPA wasn't high, wasn't low, but I tell people I did not take extra time. I graduated 4 years to the day.
There you go. That's all that matters.
So now how much of this what was your major in college?
It's turned out to be extraordinarily useful in my professional life. Philosophy and English.
Isn't that amazing how many of us go to college and, like, we're not making a penny off of our degree, which is
Uh-uh.
just, "Let me go get an education, I'll figure it out later," yeah.
Yep. I wanted to major in music, but my dad was like, "You can't do that." I'm like, all right.
To do what?
I didn't even know. I still have no idea what I want to do, Mike, and I
No,
certainly
with
didn't back
the
then.
major in music, would you have been
Yeah.
a teacher, a musician, or whatever?
Again, I have no idea.
Okay.
I
Alright.
don't know what the thought was, but I knew I liked music, and whether it was to become a conductor or which will probably not ever
Yeah,
happen, but
yeah.
yeah. But learn more about music theory. Who knows? Maybe I could have been Taylor Swift if I had done that, but here we are.
Yeah. We'll let that go today since you're working on a little sleep, yeah. Uh one of the classes I had, it was a required class for freshmen, the history of music. And I'm a big music buff, but they went back to like the 1200s. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
No, I thought we were going back to like Motown in the
Right.
50s and maybe some 30s stuff.
hmm
But yeah, we went way back. We got into Beethoven and all those. I'm like, as the phrase goes, C's get degrees. My
That's
goal
right.
was always to get a B. Got A's in the classes I wanted to get an A in, but everything else,
hmm
if I get a B, I'll be all right. C's sometimes. So,
Yep.
all right. So, if somebody wants to get into group benefits or the insurance world, focusing on that, and they've had thoughts about it, What's a couple of things you want them to kind of start doing or thinking about or putting into place if they wanted to do this?
I mean, the main thing is if you've never done it before, just take a look at what you have and how many employees do I have? Am I in a growing space? Are we looking to get bigger? Are we looking to attract more employees, better employees, hold on to the ones that we have? Then it's at least worth the conversation. Doesn't cost me anything, doesn't cost you anything for us to at least look at what it would look, what the numbers would look like and what the plans would look like if we were able to launch something. And then, if we can't, then there's always next year and the year after that. So
Mm.
those are the things I always tell my potential clients. It's worth a look, and it will definitely. It's not going to hurt you in terms of your hiring power.
I would imagine you have a long runway from your first conversation until they sign on with you, just because a lot of things need to be talked about.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually a month, maybe
Okay.
2 months. It's not months and months
Okay.
unless we have a target date of I don't want to start this until next January.
Yeah,
But typically, if someone calls me and today's what the 10th,
I think so. Yep.
uh, I might say, well, March is possible, but let's look at April because that'll make it a lot easier on you,
Yeah. Yeah.
in terms of the logistics part of it.
Yeah. So today's February 10th. So you need to go to the tattoo artist and get 2925 put on somewhere on your body for the Eagles Super Bowl and or get LIX on your arm and see who can figure out what that means.
Right.
Yeah. So, folks, in case you're interested, that's Super Bowl 59. That's the Roman numerals
Hmm.
for 59. So if somebody wanted to start their own group benefits business, they want to be a young John Moore. Now, what should they be thinking about and putting into place to get something like that started?
First of all, I would never wish that on anyone, but um, I mean, the place to start is doing the things that we do in our chapters in BNI, and just get out there, meet people. Um, I went to a bunch of networking events. You know, sometimes nightly. In addition to being
Mm,
a weekly member of BNI of my own chapter, and I still do to some degree. I mean, I'm still out there going to other networking events and Um, I try to visit other chapters when I can too. I mean, that's really the biggest thing. Just get out there and be sincere and make your connections with the people that can help you and who you can also help. Because that's, as we say, the way it works. What was that thing that we do in BNI? What's it called? Giver's
Giver's
gain or
gain.
something like
Yeah.
that?
Something like
I
that.
think
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because and folks, the first thing you've got to do is tell people you're open for business. Do not assume that, "Oh, I told 17 people or posted it on Facebook." No, you gotta go knock on doors, everything. And is there a skill set or previous experience that would come in handy for someone to get into this industry?
Well, I mean, I've seen people that don't have great personalities do what I do, myself included. But but being a people person is definitely helpful. Just being having that ability to talk to people and just have a conversation. That's I think that probably industry wide doesn't matter
Mm,
what your what business you're in. If you can make yourself comfortable talking to other people, then that's gonna help a lot.
yeah.
And
It
again, they Unite trains us on how to do that too.
mm.
So isn't that nice?
Do they necessarily need any kind of insurance background to start doing this?
For sure. I mean, if you want to do kind of things that I do or that my counterparts do in the commercial side or even the individual side, there is some licensing involved.
Okay.
Um, but if you put your mind to it, you can knock that out within a week or two.
Mm.
Really, you know.
Does that mean you're a good test taker?
Apparently, it does.
Mm.
Because
Well, let me guess, and I excelled on pass fail test. Let me brag right now. Totally excelled on pass fail
uh-huh,
test.
uh-huh.
And so yours are pass fail?
I think it's more along the lines of C's to get degrees. I think
Yeah.
there is a number involved. It's been a
Uh,
long time since I took that test, but
yeah.
I still have to do my continuing education. But uh, I don't know what it's like now, to be honest. I haven't. I haven't talked to anyone who's recently got their license, but I think as long as you get that 70, you're good.
Yeah, I excel at that. Yeah. How often do you have to get renewed?
In North Carolina now, it's every 2 years.
Okay.
So yeah, so I
All right.
think I have this year off. Nice.
All right. And for folks interested in looking into that, they can go to trianglebni.com and get a list of the chapters in the Triangle you can go visit, or they can go to Coastal NCBNI and get a list of the coastal chapters that go all the way from Brunswick County. Do we have all three counties represented now? Brunswick, New Hanover, and
Hinder.
Pender, that's it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we do now. So, okay, so all three counties there represented. Can I assume this week with some of the money you've been making lately, you're going to have a new stash of Eagles gear to wear?
I actually made a list and I gave it to Diana, and she and her husband are driving up to Philadelphia as we speak. So
Oh, good.
yes.
Then they have plenty of room to bring back a lot of stuff for you.
Uh-huh.
All righty, folks, we've been putting John's phone number up on here during the show. Please give him a call. If you have a business and you've been struggling with retaining employees or struggling filling a job, you need to talk to someone like John so they can clue you in on these little things that are going to make a big difference. It's going to change your business, hopefully change your life and make it better. So give John a call. Questions are free. He'll chat with you and let you know what he knows about what you're looking to do, and he's going to give you years of experience on those answers. So, John, always enjoy having you on the show. Congratulations on the Eagles winning yesterday.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much.
And we'll see everybody next time on Capital to the Coast BNI.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.